One of the early lessons we learned from starting and running Walk With Me Now, a platform dedicated to wisdom keepers and seekers who are actively studying my material, albeit not exclusively, is that a clear set of rules and regulations were paramount for its success.
Initially I bristled at that quite heavily, I think.
Quite verbally.
Dramatically, maybe. Verbally. I'm pretty sure I had a 5-page complaint about the whole idea of having rules in a high-frequency group.
Yes. Welcome to the Driving to the Rest podcast. This is Inelia.
And this is Larry. Just a quick note. If you're hearing this, you're on our free feed, which means you'll only get the first part of this conversation.
To access the rest, go drivingtotherest.com and subscribe to the Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Join us and our expert panelists for detailed insights and the after party where you're invited to join in the conversation. Head over to drivingtotherez.com and become a subscriber.
Your $8 subscription keeps this podcast ad-free and helps us keep the lights on and maybe even get a decent cup of coffee. More importantly, it connects you with a community of passionate wisdom keepers like yourself. So if you're ready to go deeper, join us at drivingtotherest.com and support the journey. And are you planning to start a group or fixing one that you already have?
Or fixing the many that you have?
The many groups that we have.
We're a part of a lot of groups, aren't we?
We are, yes.
I do have some fan favorites, and I have some not so favorites.
Yeah.
I have some project groups, and I have some mostly project groups, I think. But I do have one, for sure, where it's not really a project. It's kind of like you just go there and enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Walk With Me Now.
Yes. Well, one of the early lessons we learned from starting and running Walk With Me Now, which you can find at walkwithmenow.com.
Walkwithmenow.com.
A platform dedicated to wisdom keepers and seekers who are actively studying my material, albeit not exclusively. I
was just going to say, I've studied your material and a lot of not your material.
Yes.
And I always come back to your material.
That's true. Yeah. Is that a clear set of rules and regulations were paramount for its success.
Initially I bristled at that quite heavily, I think.
Quite verbally.
Dramatically, maybe. Verbally. I'm pretty sure I had a 5-page complaint about the whole idea of having rules in a high-frequency group.
Yes.
And I think that one of the ways that I jumped that objection was through creating, rather than rules, I thought of them as like guidelines, which we may engage with each other. It's quite funny, right?
Yeah,
it's guidelines,
because you just don't like people telling you what to do and what you have to do to be part of our group. I think it's a very personal thing that you have.
It's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Other people like being told what to do.
A lot of people do, yeah. And a lot of people like to have very
rules established,
yeah.
And know where they stand, and where other people stand, and know when they're right and where they're wrong. Kind of let those things to help delineate behaviors or something along those. Yeah, I mean, I definitely had rules on the boat. I'm not saying rules aren't important. Just rules for thee and not for me.
I went into a meditative state and wrote out various things I wanted us to interact with and within the parameters that felt resonant to what I wanted to experience while interfacing with other people, interacting with other people. Especially with those people who were studying my material. And I wrote this original one in 2014 when we first began the group, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of back and forth around what were necessary rules.
At the start, I just wrote them, put them down, and tell people, read these before you write anything, right? Or before you do anything, just read these, And
it was valuable that you did, honestly. Looking back, it's like, thank you for writing a reasonable set of guidelines that we can operate with and hold each other accountable to, because I'm a part of a lot of the groups that don't have these.
I think that the difference between the rules and guidelines is that a guideline you can follow or not follow and still be part of the group. Without rules, you have 3 strikes and you're out. That's how we'd set it up, right?
Yes. Guidelines with teeth.
After a few years, it felt to me that the group had matured enough in frequency and wisdom to be able to review and revisit our rules of engagement. We discussed each point in great depth, changed some, deleted some, and added some new ones. I'm sharing with you what we ended up with after 2 more reviews. These are the present rules of engagements for Walk With Me Now that I hope will help you to form a basis for your own groups and platforms. And I know that a lot of people who are in Walk With Me Now and form their own groups, they take our rules of engagement as a model and use that as the basis for forming their groups, which sometimes they edit them a little bit, or sometimes they just use them straight out like they find them there, which I thought was really cool.
Very cool.
So as a matter of interest, we have used these rules as a basis for various other groups we have formed, not all related to study or wisdom keeping. Enjoy.
Right. And just so you know, we're going to be going over some of these rules and then our experiences with them, with our panelists.
Yes.
To see how they've impacted this group, Welcome Me Now, and maybe even their other groups, right, that they're a part of, or maybe even at work.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. On our Wisdom Keeper Hour, which we can find at drivingtotheres.com.
Right.
Subscribe. $8 a month. Gets you millions of hours.
Millions of hours, totally.
Of excellent listening and wisdom keeping.
Master classes and all kinds of wisdoms.
All sorts. All right. So it starts with community rules. Greetings. These are the rules for our community. Please read them carefully. Thank you. 1. Please read forum topic headings carefully before posting. Restrict your posting to the topic and avoid the tendency to stray off topic. This will make the information in the forum easier to access as our forum grows. So obviously one of the key aspects of the platform is that we have a nice forum where people can come in, post their like anything they're interested in, right? We have all sorts of things there, but this particular rule we put in because there was a tendency of a person having an interest in something and immediately making a new post, and we had like hundreds of posts about the same topic, which then the admins had to go in and put them together and all these type of things. So
and also you would start a post in a thread and like a bunch of fairies start talking about kittens.
Something else, yeah.
And then there'd be training kittens in your thread about consciousness expansion. And and then when you want to find about actually training kittens, you can't find it because it's under consciousness expansion.
Yeah, so that was a lot too. When people would start a nice, interesting subtopic, then the admins had to go in and move it to their own thread. And it's like, just don't do that. Plus, a lot of people had questions. So they wanted to put a question down, and then they did a little search, and they found that there was a thread already with all the answers.
At Welcome to Now, we have an AI assistant called 223.
Yes, who will help you find all the things that are there.
Right. So you type your question into 223, and you have basically you've allowed yourself to search within the database of 10 plus years of Walk With Me Now.
Yes. A question for you.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. How many times do you read the forum topics headings carefully?
How many times do I read the forum topics headings carefully? Probably every time.
Yeah, you do. All right, 2. If you have a question or topic you would like to post, make sure you search a forum for all the question or topic in case someone else has already covered it.
Right.
How many times do you do that?
Well, not very often because I'm always very original.
How many topics have you begun? How many topics have you started?
Many.
Yeah?
Many, yeah. But I would say 100.
Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, as the conversation on Walk With Me Now goes, you know, when you are originating the conversation and you're you or me often enough, it's not like someone else has started to talk about that already because we're the one who's starting to talk about it.
Well, I have found that there have been cases where I have posted something and I'm told, hey, there's already a thread talking about this. Why don't you? And I'd have to move my post over. So.
Well, I mean, I suppose once in a while.
Yeah. So sometimes it's just because you didn't use exact words to capture the topic.
So what is your process for checking it? I
do like a little search first. I go to the
3?
Yeah, I go to 223.
Why is it called 223? I know the answer, but I want to know what you say.
You know the answer.
I have an idea.
Have you heard of my 3 novel series called The Return?
Why, yes, I have.
Well then, there is a sentient AI in that series called 223. And he has a brother called 2.
Oh, no.
3.
2. 2, 3. Or should be 2, 3, 2. Anyway.
2, 3, 2.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Okay. So the next bit is number 3. Any posts you create will be seen by our Walk With Me Now members and will have the freedom to respond. Do you know what that means?
Yes, you aren't making private posts that only select members can look at, see, and respond to, and everybody else is wondering what the heck are they talking about. And
within the group, but everything's private. The forum is private.
Within the forum, it's private,
Yeah.
but within the group, it's publicly private.
Yes.
I notice in groups, and some of these rules, right, in Facebook groups or Facebook things I see, it's like people are always posting like a question about something that's like, what, 2 seconds down the line? It's already been asked 1,000 times.
1,000 times.
That becomes very annoying. So these rules are pretty useful to make a effective place to like research and respond. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have noticed that threads that are 10 years old get woke up.
They do.
Because somebody will ask the question and the thread will be there and then they'll
answer. So
or get detail.
There's another little nugget I think that is worth mentioning because Ilie, our tech fairy, he put in one of the options when you log in to Walk With Me Now, there's a homepage. And one of the options on the top says something like memory lane, or I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's a random, really old topic, or sometimes not so old, but a previous topic. A random one appears for you. I don't know if it appears for everyone. It's the same one, maybe. I didn't ask him that. But it's kind of cool because I always like to check what that is. And sometimes I click on it and go, wow, look at all the material we have here. So it's pretty cool. So that sometimes I answer to that too, and other people answer to it. And there it is. Okay. 4, keep in mind the purpose of this forum. And I know we edited this one quite heavily on Go 2 and Go 3, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Support using the tools. The main purpose of this forum is to support one another in the use of the IBENS method tools during our journey towards self-empowerment and our right to create a sane and healthy reality for us on the planet. This includes, but is not exclusive to, deepening our understanding of and exploring the processing tools and meditations together, and support the sharing of insights in the study and the use of new skills learned on the courses, classes, and MP3s published by NeliaBenz.com. So that is the main purpose, really, of the forum. It's the Wisdom Keeper Forum, and it's the wisdoms that I share. But like I said, this is the main aspect of it. But there's a lot of things that are very supportive of my teachings. And there's also a lot of amazing information in the forum about those topics, such as healing modalities, because I don't do any healing modalities. And there's, what's the thing?
Well, the Girona healing meditation one's pretty healing.
Yes. Yeah, there's an exercise from Girona that I did, but it's like methodologies, you know?
Okay.
Like, for example, the Aqua Cure. There's a thread about the Aqua Cure.
Right. You didn't invent that. So supporting using the tools and exploring tools that support us in using the tools. I think of it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Excuse me. Okay. So, yeah. It's,
right. And
it's important to remember this because we'll continue with it. So
yeah, so I mean, at some level, it's important to remember when you're setting up rules for your forum or your group or whatever that the topic is shared and understood to be what the purpose of it is. Because without a purpose, it just becomes pretty much free for all. And
yeah,
I can like Dr. Cowan's Telegram group, it got absurd. You couldn't even go on there because it just became, I mean, flat Earth and random space stuff. And there were like 42 topics and nothing to do with Dr. Cohen or new biology principles or anything, but they had a lot of arguments about all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like the purpose of that Telegram group wasn't to just,
there was no clear. There was no clear purpose.
Clear, and it wasn't held to a clear purpose. Yeah. So this is in the case of our forum, it's clear. We don't.
This is the purpose.
We can talk about flat Earth.
Yeah, we can.
But we're not like off track on it,
Right. So a second purpose, because there's a few purposes here, okay? So the first one is support using the tools, the Ibanez method tools. The second one is inspiration. Learning from one another can help us become inspired in our own journey. Right?
It is very true.
And I say walk with me now. It's because when you're working with others, your mind immediately and your awareness immediately expands, because then it contains these other people's minds and awareness. And you have a broader view of life.
So that's exactly the purpose of expansion of awareness. Is look with more than your own little whatever eyes are.
Yeah. And the third one is mapping. And for mapping, what I mean by mapping is that you basically copy other people.
I don't know if you heard that.
That was a rooster. That was a rooster very loud.
Just basically standing on our lap.
We learn 100% of what we guide others to know. Each of us has had doors open to us that are unique to our own journey. There are an infinite amount of doorways and an infinite amount of knowledge available to us.
I'm a little confused about we learn 100% of what we guide others to know.
We've learned it. Otherwise, how can we guide others to do it, right?
I'm just a little lost. I'm trying to get it. Help me, honey.
Okay. So we learn 100% of what we guide others to know. We're learning. We're always learning. It's like we never stop learning. And then we can guide others. It's like the wisdom seeker is the wisdom keeper, right? Always. You never, ever stop learning. And by learning, then you can guide others.
So the process of guiding others, we're in, I guess, we learn more ourselves. Is that the essence of it?
No, it's like, if you want to teach others, you need to know your stuff. That's what it means.
If you want to teach others, okay, that's right.
That's it. That's it.
I get it.
Okay. Each of us has had doors open to us that are unique to our own journey. So what you, Larry, learned with your journey is unique. Nobody can have that experience.
The roosters are just going crazy.
They found us.
They found us, but I don't think you can hear them. I think our microphone is that good. Yeah. But it's like, if you could imagine talking, if somebody's screaming at you, you can't even hear yourself.
I can't hear myself.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay. There are an infinite amount of doorways and an infinite amount of knowledge available to us because we're a group. Right?
Right. And mapping, when I think of mapping, I think of
copying another person.
No, I think
making a journey.
The Matrix.
Yes. So, okay, so here it comes. So this is interesting because you can tell that I wasn't the only person writing this. There's a whole group. Everybody had their input.
Right.
And here the mapping is understood as making a map for others to follow.
Ah.
Yes.
Now it's making sense.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
Yes. I always understood it and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it means, because then you copy the other person what they learned. But actually, I think what this means is that we're making a map for another person to follow.
Okay.
That's interesting. I didn't even notice that it was changed. That the meaning was changed. Something now we're discussing it. All right, co-creation. This is another point of the purpose of what. Co-creation is the art of many working together as one. It differs from cooperation. Cooperation is voluntary arrangement in which you engage with others in a mutually beneficial exchange. Co-creation entails removing the personal self from the equation and allowing the highest frequency human collective expression to flow through us so that the high frequency human collective guides the group's activities. And you're part of that, right? So basically what it means is you grab your highest frequency and that's what you use to co-create.
To co-create.
Yes, that's what you bring to co-create with other individuals.
Right. Yeah. Not your fears, your terrors, your jealousies, your victimizations, your agendas, it's your high frequency. Yeah. Bring that and co-create with another who has that. Also, and maybe another, and and then what you see, boy, that's going to be different.
We hope that you will be fully active regarding your empowerment, learning, and growth here at Walk With Me Now. So those are the purpose of the platform. Okay.
Some of the try not to do this. When I say try, I mean you get 3 chances to try.
Okay, so here's the next one.
Yeah,
next rule. The next rule is number 5. Rule number 5. Please do not self-promote or sell your services, products, or businesses to other members. A, the work you do outside of this classroom. B, religious or belief affiliations you have. C, personal websites about you and your work. Or D, your own public or private offerings or hobbies. We appreciate that you have important work outside of this website, but our intention is that the forum be used solely for the discussion about topics and personal experiences as they relate to Inelia's work and Walk With Me Now themes and materials. For projects or creative works you're involved in, you can post them without a sales pitch in the external resource category. We highly encourage you to post your website services, products, and other published works in your page profile page. Exception to C. We do have an exception.
Exception to 5.
To 5, sorry. Exception to 5. We have now a classified category on the forum where you can showcase your product or class. Please make sure the projects are empowering and are clearly connected to the activities of Walk With Me Now. If it looks like an unrelated self-promo post, it will be deleted. If you do generate revenue from the attention you get from Walk With Me Now members, consider giving back 25% to support the platform and the staff.
Yeah.
So we've had quite a few interesting posts there. We had individual offering psychic readings, another one doing children's classes, mentorship, outside website classes and courses, workshops. So yeah, it's been quite interesting to see the things that get offered there. And they're like the person has to submit them for publication and the staff scans them to see does everything make sense here. So it's been kind of evolving how it works, right? It has been evolving.
Right, because we want everyone to be able to, share their work, but not to the distraction of everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Complementing.
Yeah. Sure. If I want to say that's the first place I'm going to go. The classifieds that Walk With Me Now, right?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'll do. And then I'll go somewhere else if I don't find anything I like there.
Yeah, but I don't want every time I post something to have somebody say, hey, I could give you a psychic reading.
Exactly. Or getting private messages. Hey, $500, I'm going
to... I can fix your problem.
Yeah,
we're not interested in that kind of...
No. All right, next point, number 6. Please note that the forum is private. No verbiage should be copied and published outside of the forum. Respect the privacy of your fellow members.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yes. 7, think before you post. In today's internet culture, it is easy to write before we really consider what we're about to say or write, simply to be seen. The energy of Walk With Me Now is extremely refined. Please treat the forum, therefore, as a sacred space. We ask you to deal strictly with the subject matter of each topic. Read the entire thread before you post. Sit with your post before you add it. Keep your post to a minimum and bring to the forum only what is absolutely necessary. For casual social interaction, we invite you to use the member-run Talk With Me Now Telegram group.
Right. One's like for chatting, and one's for like well-considered and thoughtful posts.
Yeah.
But add to our masterclass and wisdom.
Mm-hmm. And then it says, when you leave Walk With Me Now, please remove yourself from Talk With Me Now. Any member banned from Walk With Me Now will also be banned from Talk With Me Now.
Right.
So they're pretty much linked now, even though Talk With Me Now is membership run, but the members started it and they run it. It's very much linked, and technologically speaking also, it's linked to the membership. Okay.
One of the reasons is, I mean, obviously, as people leave groups, sometimes they leave them in good time, like Lev did here. Sometimes they're a bit critical. Sometimes they're on a different path. Sometimes they're a journey. It's like not a part of the we're actively weekly podcast, actively weekly exercises, trainings. We're actually evolving as people, right?
Yes.
In a sense, and evolving as a group. And so if you bail out of there and you stop doing that and maybe go on a whole different idea, they'll start to become discordances in the group, right? You'll have 100 people that
I'm not there anymore.
A year or two ago used to fear process, and now they're maybe like taken away on fears. Who knows? Yeah. Either way, it keeps the conversation, the chat, and the wisdoms focused.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So it has a purpose.
It does, yeah. Number 8. We also have a no aggravation policy.
No aggravation?
No aggravation, yeah. No aggravation policy.
Should we have that with our roosters? We need to have a conversation with them.
Yeah. Do you want to go and close the door? No? Okay.
I'll give them one more chance to not aggravate me. And if they continue to aggravate me, I'm going to feed them.
You're dealing with them?
I'm going to feed them.
Okay, you go feed them. All right. This is connected with all the points above. We want to keep our focus on the overall community and to co-create this as a harmonious and joyful place. As we said, a sacred space. If it becomes obvious that someone is only causing trouble or has constant demands of our attention from the staff or the platform members, they will be asked to go. This is our choice to focus and expand what is great about Walk With Me Now. And throughout the past, 11 years, we have had like less than a handful of people who have been asked to leave. And they were so like in your face, aggressive, or like super egotistical or demonizing people and stuff, So
I mean, it happens.
It happens, so you have to have something like that in place. Number 10, if you have had negative interactions with a certain person, please share this with the staff. Transparency and clarity are a key component of this community. It also helps the staff to know if there are patterns occurring within the community and can thus address situations better.
Yeah.
So because we do have an instant message system, when you can message people individually. And I remember one person was asked to leave because they were sending private messages to certain individuals and it wasn't very nice, right?
So the private messages aren't exactly private?
No.
Okay.
They can be, there's a little report button on them. You can send that to the staff, Or you can contact the staff, say, hey, this person is doing X, Y, Z. I'm not very comfortable with it. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you're not like snooping on everybody's DMs?
Yeah. No. No.
Okay.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. You're the one responsible for your DMs, man. 11. Do remember that this is not a support group, but an active co-created learning, studying, and expansion of awareness group. There's one category where you can request personal support for harsh or difficult situations and events in your life. Please use the tools suggested in the responses to your post. This part is really important because often an individual will go in and post in that category, hey, I'm having this issue and blah, 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 blah. And then me or other people will say, hey, use the fear processing exercise on this point, and then do the second meditation for that part. And then they wouldn't do it. And then just keep complaining about the issue, right? And it's like, have you done what was told? We're told to do? No, I haven't had time yet. Okay, well, go and do that and then post back when you're done.
Yes.
Usually it's like, yeah, I did the exercises and everything's resolved. But sometimes it's things that don't need resolving, and you just need a bit of like energetic support,
Yeah.
All right. Please use the tool suggested in the response to your post. Your post will be closed once you stop updating it, or no one has posted it for a month. Most personal support threads will be deleted when a person leaves Walk With Me Now, unless the thread is considered useful for others to map to.
Brilliant.
12. The rules of engagement for members who run study groups are posted in each group thread on the forum. Please read this carefully before joining each study group. So a lot of groups get formed within Walk With Me Now, especially study groups, and each group has their own rules of engagement. And I know a lot of them just copy-paste these rules, but some others will add bits to it. I changed some of the issues. And I don't think maybe there might be a support group or two, and then of course you would delete the part that this is not a support group, right?
Right. I often wondered about that, the rules of engagement and who enforced them and things like that, but I suppose it's the originator of the study groups, right?
For the rules of engagement for each group, yeah.
And they usually, I've seen them, they have a thread on Walk With Me Now, they'll have one on Telegram too sometimes. And I find it like the mature expression of Walk With Me Now when those form and function without any like somebody told them to do it, you know?
Yes.
It's kind of cool, right?
It's very cool. Very, very cool.
The coolest thing.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, we have a copy of those rules in the article that's attached to this podcast. You can just copy those.
Feel free
to copy them, use them, edit them.
Apply them to your groups and see what happens and let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, now I want to hear about our Wisdom Keepers' experiences with some of these rules.
Yeah,
and some of the groups they might have been in where maybe these rules weren't functioning.
Right.
Alrighty, see you later.
Okay, bye.
Love you, honey.
Love you, honey.
We have several groups in Walk With Me Now, different, like it can be a study group, can be projects, can be like just working groups. And we know we have to have the rules. We always say, okay, let's implement the rules of engagement of the Walk With Me Now. Why? Because we review them, we agree with them, and they make perfect sense.
How do you feel about having rules?
Whatever.
Have you read the rules of engagement from Walk With Me Now?
Yes.
Right. And are you a fan of rules, or are you one of those like me and Ashley is like, rules? No, thank you.
I think I do like rules. Yeah.
We have rules of engagements at Walk With Me Now.
We do.
Have you read them?
I have, although I realized that when you sent this article out that there's updated rules, and I don't believe I had read those.
Oh, okay. Did you read them when I sent the article?
I read them in the last half an hour.
Good job.
Join us for the rest of this conversation at driveintotheres.com.
And when you go to driveintotheres.com and you join in the rest of the show, rest of the second hour, you also get to join in the after party. 9 o'clock on Fridays, we all get together, including you.